Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. Not only is Stone Cold back, but we're back.
That's it, baby.
Welcome to Pete's Corner. I'm your host, Peter Soprano, a.k.a. the Sports Gawd. To my right, D-Money Drizzy.
Let's go, people.
Listen, we had a great week last week. Football started week 1. Everybody's back into it. How'd you feel about the week, Dre?
Man, listen, you know what? It was a little bit rough as far as picks goes, but I enjoyed football, some good college games, some really good NFL games. What about you?
Well, I'm sorry I can't relate to the bad picks because I was on fire last week.
Oh,
I
man.
told you I was going to help you guys. Listen.
Well, besides that college, but you went high like I told you.
Listen,
like I told people.
I told you I was going to make up. I was 0-3 last time, and I told you I was going to make up for it, and I made up for it.
Listen, man, P always comes up, man. Listen, don't
so
ever
listen,
sleep on the
before we even start right now, first, you got to go to the page right now, subscribe. And this will be the last show on Periscope. We're going to do it on YouTube from now on.
Fucking show on Periscope. If you
On
want free
YouTube from
picks,
now on.
subscribe, fucking like, and view
Even
the
the audience is
show.
saying it. Even the audience is saying it. So listen, you guys got to go on the page. You guys want the picks? We're giving it for free. We're not charging you, but you got to go to the YouTube page and you got to go and subscribe.
We're not charging for this shit, which is
Wanna
ridiculous.
Go 16-0.
All we want to do, listen, all we need on the page is thumbs up and subscribe, spread the word.
Listen.
That's what we ask.
Listen, and you should want to after how good it was last week. This man has 2 out of 3 top picks that are coming through all the time, and you know my NFL was on point last week. So now
you guys, only week 1.
You guys got it's on point anyway, so it don't matter.
That's crazy.
So now you guys got to go and help us out. Go to subscribe to the page. But Dre, we already talked about it last week. You had the 1 and 2 week. I had the 3 and 0 week for the NFL. Now we're moving on to next week, and we're keeping track of these totals. So we're gonna keep up with the totals. Let you know who's doing good on their top pick, who's doing good NFL, who's doing good college, whatever. So we're going to keep you notified on that. But we got to get into this week's picks.
That's it. Let's get right into it.
We got college coming up. What's your top pick for this week?
Wow. My best pick, I'm looking at Oklahoma at UCLA. I got minus 21, 21 and a half for Oklahoma. Honestly, to me, I like Jalen Hurts a lot. This kid's a stud. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot more Oklahoma fans at the damn Rose Bowl than there will be UCLA. But with that being said, though, you know, all jokes aside, the Oklahoma offense is explosive. They're averaging about 60 points per game. So again, you know, UCLA is coming off of a bad loss against San Diego State. You know, to me, they shouldn't have lost that game, honestly. And I feel pretty good about this pick, to be honest. I like Jalen Hurts a lot.
What spread was that?
21 and a half.
21 and a half, all right.
Yeah, so, yeah, again, it's a little bit big, though, but I'm pretty confident. I wouldn't make it my best pick if I did not feel confident at all.
Got you. Now, I'm going to go to my best pick because with the music coming up, even though it's ESPN, so fuck them. It is. I'm just not going to wear a mascot right now. But we are going on to my top pick. Listen, Louisville is plus 10 versus Western Kentucky.
Wow.
Now, I don't even understand the spread. I actually think that Louisville is going to win this game outright.
Oh, wow.
Even as a 10-point underdog. But just to be safe, I'm making it my guaranteed top pick. Louisville was a bad team last year. They only won 2 games all year last year, and they still beat Western Kentucky for one of those 2 games.
That's crazy.
So you're talking about a team that was horrible last year, still won one of those 2 games against Western Kentucky.
And they're a 10-point dog.
And they're a 10-point dog, and they're better this year. I saw them play against Notre Dame. They played tough for the first half. I saw them play last week. They won 42-0. They're a much better team they were last year.
That's insane.
And so I think that's definitely my Stone Cold lock of the week.
And that's not even the underdog. That's the best pick.
Yeah, I think
that's crazy.
I legitimately think they can win that game outright. But just to be safe, to make that a lot pick, I'll take Louisville plus 10.
All right, cool.
So what's your second pick, Dre?
My second best pick, I'm looking at Iowa Hawkeyes minus 2.5 on the road against Iowa State. I like how the Hawkeyes been looking, and they've been playing really good football on both sides of the ball. They look really good in their last 2 games, especially against Rutgers. They held them to no points. I mean, they laid 30 and Rutgers didn't score anything. Honestly, Iowa State struggled to beat Northern Iowa, and it took them 3 OTs to get it done. To me, I think 2.5 points, it's a gift. I like it a lot, to be honest. That was almost my best pick. I'm going to roll with that one. Iowa.
Well, I'll say this. This is the first time that we're picking the exact same pick for the exact same second. Because I also have Iowa being Iowa State minus 2.5. And my reasons are a little bit different.
And part of the tongue twisters because all you goddamn Iowas and shit.
Listen, this is a rivalry game, so usually you want to stay away from a rivalry game, but this is an early rivalry game. The times that you want to be scared of those rivalry games is at the end of the year where one team has nothing to lose and they just go all out because they're rival.
And I was like, what he just said, sometimes you could capitalize on that too and make a lot of money.
But this is an early game. I think Iowa's going to win this game. And if you look back at the past, say, 4 years, last year, Iowa won close game, but they still won by about a touchdown. The year before that was the close game, winning in Iowa State, winning overtime. They still won 44-41. Go back the year before that, they already beat them by 7. Like, you look past 4 years, they've beaten them by the same spread that they have them for right now. Yeah. So, and by more than the spreads. Sometimes they had a 40-point win a couple years ago against them. Right. They own Iowa State right now. Yeah, Iowa State's closest game was 2 years ago in Iowa State, and they still lost by more than this point spread.
Yeah, I think 2.5 is a gift, in my opinion.
I think so too. I think if they want to make it at least serious, at least make it 3.5, 4.
Yeah, exactly. Make it a little bit more.
If you think it's going to be close,
but you're telling me that all I need is a field goal to cover the spread.
Exactly. So I completely agree with you. I think this is a very almost a gift of a spread to give you. I think the only reason I didn't make it my top pick because I thought the Louisville was even more of a gift.
Right. Exactly.
So I agree with you. I'm going with Iowa minus 2.5.
There you go, people.
So now we going to the third pick, the upset pick. I'll let you go first.
I'm going with BYU plus 4.5. I like them.
I looked at that.
I like them getting the win over USC. BYU looked impressive against Tennessee. Again, a game that a lot of people didn't expect them to win. You know, shout out to them. They're 1-1. They lost to Utah in their first game, but now they're about to get another crack at another solid Pac-12 team. And I expect them, to just keep the momentum going. To be honest, I really do like BYU to cover the spread. Obviously, more so, I like them to win just outright.
So we talked about something last week, and I said that I thought it was a little bit too early to go for it, but they proved me wrong.
Okay.
Pac-12 After Dark has returned.
Okay.
And Arizona, I'm going with my boys' pick. They are some places 2.5, some places 3-point underdog. I'm going with them to win outright against Texas Tech. They're in Arizona. It's going to be a late game. It doesn't start till almost 11 o'clock at night. So, listen, the bar's going to be closed by the time it's done. It'll be like finishing like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
but
it's crazy.
I think Arizona has talent. They're kind of disrespecting that Pac-12. And you look at Texas Tech, they haven't really proved anything to me so far. No. And for them to be just a 3-point favorite, I'm actually surprised.
Yeah,
because you're going into enemy's territory. You're not that great of a team, and this is that type of a game that is one of those games that always weird things happening. When it's a late at night game, Saturday night, their bodies aren't used to it. It's one of those games. So, like I said, some places have it 2.5, some places have it 3. I'm taking Arizona outright in that game.
Hey, listen, with these Pac-12 After Darks, honestly, there's no better person to go to than this man. This guy hit me up again. We said it on 2 Dudes in the Max.
3 a.m.
This guy reached out to me exactly at 2:52 a.m. and told me, I'm going to live bet Cal.
They're down 10-3.
I fell asleep, woke up at, I glanced at my phone at 6 in the morning, find the score. I think Cal won by like a point.
2019.
Again, that's a different topic, but my point is, when this guy's talking Pac-12 After Dark, you better listen.
Listen, and guys.
Maybe.
And guys, unfortunately, we won't be with you on Sunday because Dre won't be around. And I'm not doing a solo show. But because of that, we're going to give you 3 extra picks each for the NFL this weekend.
Yep.
So let's kick right off the NFL picks. What's your top pick for the NFL this week?
My top pick for the NFL week this week, I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Chargers minus 2.5. Money. That's crazy. I can't believe they're a 2.5-point favorite. Mm-hmm. Honestly, to me, the only thing that made me love this pick is Phillip Rivers and the coach. I think LA Chargers are going to outcoach Detroit. Mm-hmm. The only thing, in my opinion, that Detroit has really good is the run defense. But we know that Rivers has a lot of weapons.
Yeah.
Too
bad you don't have Melvin Gordon though.
Yeah, but they'll get it done without Melvin Gordon. And you know what? I don't see them putting a lot of pressure on Rivers. I think Rivers is going to go in there and do his thing. I also can't see Detroit running the ball against them, to be honest. So if they can't run the ball against them, I sure can't see Matt Stafford slinging it against Los Angeles Chargers. So to me, that's my lock of the week, my money pick. I love Los Angeles Chargers minus 2.5. And it's a field goal, too. Before it was 2, but I mean, the good thing is that we're getting these spreads out early, so you can put them in early because by game time it may be 3.5, 3. Get that 2.5. I like that a lot.
So I'm gonna go to the other side of the country and pick. Sorry, Jets. I think you're getting blown out this week. and you are giving the Browns only minus 2.5 for the Browns. I think the Browns, if you talk before the last game,
$30 tickets if anyone's interested.
Yeah, tickets are on sale for $30 so the Jets fans already quit. So listen, the Browns are a team that if you talk to them before last week, people were picking them winning division. I was. People were saying good, actually maybe a AFC contender.
Yeah.
In 1 week, that doesn't change. Like if you thought that before, you should have let 1 week sway you that much. And it's a 2.5. And listen, week 1 of the NFL is one of the most overreacted weeks that you will ever see, because you will see teams that say, all right, this team is done. They're going to win 2 games. People are saying the Giants are going to win 2 games. They're better than a 2-win team. They're not going to win 2 games. And then you look at a team like this, Cleveland, people saying they were going to win 10, 11 games. Now they're saying they'll be 7-9. Yeah, and I'm not going to get to them right now, but I almost picked them, but no. I'm not.
You picked against them, so you should be happy.
Yeah, I did. So they were,
all right, there you go.
But like I said, don't overreact for week 1. So I think the Browns are actually going to put on a show in week 2. They proved that they could beat the Jets last year without an Odell Beckham, without this type
and those were like
defense.
the first half Tyrod and the second half Baker.
Exactly. So they pretty much beat the Jets with 1/2 of good football. Now you're adding Odell, you're adding the defensive pieces. I think they actually blow the Jets out on Monday. And I think this could get ugly. This could be a 2-touchdown game. So that's my top pick of the week.
Wow.
So moving on to the second game.
Wow, so the second game, my second best pick is your best pick. I'm going Cleveland Browns minus 2.5 as well. Sorry to all the Jets fans, but again, Pete nailed it. Look, week 1, a lot of people are going to overreact. I mean, look, I'm a Pittsburgh fan. I'm gonna shit on the Browns all day, but I got to give credit where credit is due. You know what? That they face a good Tennessee offense and defense at home. You know what happens, especially when you have a lot of hype around you in the offseason that you're normally not used to. So
plus Tennessee is a physical team. The Jets aren't as physical of a team.
Exactly, but just to break it down a little bit, I can't trust their defense for shit. I mean, look. They did their thing the first half against the Buffalo Bills, and they blew into the second half. They got no C.J. Mosley. I have a feeling that Baker's going to play a lot better than Sam Darnold, even though I think Sam Darnold should be playing, fairly well, too, with Le'Veon Bell and some okay weapons, too. And again, I think Cleveland has too many targets and too many weapons for the Jets defense to try and stick and, neutralize, honestly. To be like me, again, like you said, 2.5, to me, a field goal. Cleveland, they did it last year on a Thursday night, excuse me.
Thursday night, yeah. Hey, they broke the Bears open. That was the win.
Yo, they gave free Bud Light.
They broke
Cleveland.
the Bears open.
Listen.
But listen, the one other comment that I'll comment on this is that the big thing that Titans were able to do is they got pressure on Baker Mayfield. Cameron Wake only played 24 snaps, which was 1/3 of snaps in the entire game.
Right.
And he had 2.5 sacks, a safety, and 1 defensive player of the week.
Right.
So you got to be able to get pressure on their quarterback. And the Jets don't have a big pass rusher. So I think that's going to hurt them.
Yeah, and again, there's an old theory in football that when a team gets blown out, usually they come back and and make some noise or whatever. But
especially if they are going to be an above 500 team.
Exactly, especially a team like Cleveland Browns that a lot of people have been hyping up. I'm not saying they're not worth the hype, just saying that I have a feeling that they're going to come back.
Jump off the train that fast.
Yeah, you can't jump off the train that fast.
2-3 games then, yeah, but not after the first week.
I think Cleveland Browns going to come back and have a solid performance.
All right, so my second pick of the week, I'm going to go with a team that had 10 days off and is going to be prepared for this. The Green Bay Packers are going to go 2-0.
Nice.
They're going against the Minnesota Vikings, and I do not trust Kirk Cousins. The reason why the Vikings won in a blowout last week is because Kirk Cousins threw 10 passes. You don't even see that in the NFL anymore. He threw 10 passes.
That's insane.
Dalvin Cook ran the ball completely down their throats, and it was no contest. But they knew better than to trust Kirk Cousins, and that's why he only had 10 passes.
He's not doing that against Green Bay.
Yeah, there's no way they're going to let him do that. So they have a good defense. They showed it last week. They can stop the run, and they can get pressure on the quarterback. I don't see Kirk Cousins being able to beat them by himself, and I think they're going to be able to slow down Dalvin Cook. And obviously, the big thing about this is Aaron Rodgers is not going to go 2 weeks in a row where he looks that bad.
Now, you got to realize, too, and just to comment on your pick, that's a great pick, by the way, because I was looking at that as well. The fact that, to me, the first part of the season, the toughest task for Green Bay was to go to Chicago opening day and beat them. They got that out of the way. If I'm not mistaken, I think their next 3 or 4 games it's in Wisconsin. They're at home now. So now
3 out of 4, yeah.
Exactly. So now they have all the momentum. And where are they playing? They're playing at home, or they got to go to Minnesota?
No, that's what's Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta agree with Pete on that one, man. To me, that's almost a lock. Pretty much a lock.
Listen, Aaron Rodgers is. I plan for him to go off this game. He's going to throw for 3 touchdowns. He's going to get 1 to Devontae Adams, maybe 1 to Graham again. I see him going off this week. But let's get to the upset pick. What's your upset pick this week?
My upset pick, I'm taking it. Well, it's not the West Coast, more like mid, but we're going to go with San Fran plus 1.5 at Cincy. I like San Fran in this game a lot, to be honest. A lot of people were paying too much attention to that preseason with Jimmy G in those series. Again, that's preseason. Yeah. Jimmy G, came out and he looked good against Tampa Bay. He showed that, that he could use his weapons. The defense looked good as well, too. And you know what? To credit Cincy, they did go to Seattle, even though I picked Seattle as my second best pick. They went to Seattle and showed some grit, and they had Seattle against the ropes. But with Joe Mixon out of the game and questionable, and that's raising a lot of questions for me. Not to mention Andy Dalton, despite it,
Tom Ross went off though. We'll get to that with fantasy later. Though.
Yeah. So I mean, despite them almost taking it from Seattle, to me, I still think that Andy Dalton had a sloppy game with the fumbles and all that. I just think that I just think that Jimmy G at this point, he's comfortable. He took the rust off. And I think they're gonna do pretty good. Again, they don't gotta travel all the way to the east. They don't gotta travel all the way to the east, which is another good thing too. But I'm really confident that San Fran's going to pick this one up.
Jimmy G's a solid player. We saw when he went against good teams 2 years ago when he was healthy. He beat some solid teams. So he can win games. That's the reason why I like him. And I almost picked that pick. But I decided to go. I'm a big person, especially in the NFL. You get wore down in the NFL. So I'm a big thing for people that are coming off long weeks. And just like I picked the Packers just now, I'm going with an upset and say the Bears beat the Broncos. And I'm surprised the Bears are even an underdog. I mean, underdog in this game.
Are they an underdog?
Their underdog is in Denver. It's like a 2.5-point spread. I'm going with the Chicago Bears to win that game outright.
Wow. Listen, I don't know how I missed that one.
You got 10 days off in between that game. Everybody's been talking shit about the Bears. Everybody's saying there's no chance that they could be this bad. They're talking about Montgomery and talking about Mike Davis being on the field and how bad Trubisky is. I think that he's going to come out, and Nagy has to change his game plan. He he has to realize that last week that shit sucked. Yeah. So he has to come out, give a good game plan, and I don't think the Broncos are that good, and I think they're going to find a way to win.
We just saw what Oakland was able to do with the run game against Denver. Yeah. And so again, I do think that Chicago, despite of of last week's game, I still think they got a pretty good run game, and I think they're going to be able to run the rock this time around.
So as we switch off into the fantasy part, we know that we have some questions from the crowd. So we want to be able to get the crowd to ask their questions to you and me and see what we think about it. So audience member number 1.
One spot. PPR. Cohen, Lindsay, or Shepard?
All right, Cohen, Lindsay, or Shepard for 1 spot in a PPR. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
No, you go first.
I'm going to say I don't like Shepard because he may not play this week. He has a concussion. So I definitely would leave Shepard out of it. Cohen is one of those guys that he's going to be a PPR monster. He's going to get 5 to 7 catches. He's going to get probably around 50, 60 yards. So he's going to be a consistent 14 points. Lindsay's the wild card because Lindsay can catch passes and he can have a good game rushing. Cohen isn't going to have a good game rushing. So I think it's one of those situations where if you want to have a safe pick, you go with Cohen. If you want to have a high ceiling, like maybe you're underdog and you need big points, I go with Lindsay.
I like Lindsay a lot, to be honest. Again, with Shepard's out the window, but with Cohen, I mean, again, that's another pick that's not bad, but I really do like Lindsay, to be honest. I would probably, most definitely go with Lindsay.
All right, and we got a second question from the crowd.
1 spot, PPR. Fuller, James White, or Terrence Williams from Oakland?
Fuller, James White, or Terrence Williams from Oakland. 1 spot PPR. I am going to go with James White just because James White is a monster in PPR. Like, I don't even care if he gets 1 or 2 rushes a game. He can catch 8 catches a game and get like 100 yards, especially with Brady, who checks down a lot in the past year or so. I think James White is the perfect back for him, and I think he has a floor. Like I said, don't look at week 1. I think he has a floor that no matter what, he's going to get at least 10, 12 points. And he could have 20 easily. So I go with James White.
Yeah, I agree with B. I think that James White is definitely the go-to for that. I mean, the guy's a beast, especially, with the way they run that offense. I think that, honestly, I think that's a no-brainer.
One more question from the crowd. All right, crowd's gone. All right, so let's go to Twitter. We had a couple questions sent in from Twitter. My boy Louis Serrano said Jarvis Landry, or Dede Westbrook. This one's a weird one.
Russell Westbrook.
It's Russell Westbrook. I'm going to go with Jarvis Landry. I think Landry is going to come back from his bad week one. Like I said earlier, I think the Browns are going to put a whooping on the Jets, so I think that's going to be a good one for them. We also have a question from my boy Chapo CB15. He said, who would you put in, Henry or Mack? That's actually if you have both of those backs, then you're in a good situation. Either one of them should put up good numbers. If you're in a PPR, then I would say Mack is probably the better option. Because they'll be, first of all, like I said, I didn't say earlier, but I think the Titans are going to beat the Colts this week, so I think they'll be behind. They'll throw a couple more passes, but Henry is probably going to be the low ceiling guy because he's going to get more rushes. So I have to say between the two, if you're in a PPR, go with Mack. If you're in a non-PPR, go with Henry. Real quick before we finish up the show, we want to, there's some adds and drops that, listen, this is why we got this show, so you guys know who to pick up or who to drop this week. I'm going to hold off on certain people. Like Philip Dorsett is a high pickup this week. Terry McLaughlin is a high pickup from the Redskins, and also Marquise Brown, because of the big game he had against the Dolphins, a high pickup. I'm going to, unless you have an open spot or a person you could drop, I'm going to hold off on getting those guys. Let me give you a couple guys that I think will be, a few guys that I think should be good for pickups. If you're in a 2 QB league, pick up the Jacksonville quarterback, Gardner Minshew, because in 2 QBs, it's hard to get a starter. He's going to be the starter for them, so I say get him. Tevin Coleman is going to be out for probably at least 3 weeks, so pick up Matt Breida. He's going to be a perfect in PPR and regular. Adrian Peterson will be starting for Darius Geis because Darius Geis will be out with a high ankle sprain probably the next 4 weeks. Ronald Jones, he's a good sleeper pickup because I know he's available in a lot of leagues. He's backing up Peyton Barber, but he had a much better game than Peyton Barber. 13 carries, about 75 yards. He's a guy that can break out with a new offense there, and they may try to give him the ball more. For wide receivers, real quick, John Brown. He's a guy from Buffalo that catches a lot of deep passes. If you want somebody that's similar to DeSean Jackson, that's the kind of guy you pick. Speaking of somebody like DeSean Jackson, we talked about him earlier, John Ross. Cincinnati Bengals, they loaded him with targets. Everybody thought it was going to be Tyler Boyd. It ended up being John Ross. He got 14 targets, had a huge game, 150 yards. So he's the type of person you want to pick up. Last wide receiver to pick up, Mecole Hardman from the Kansas City Chiefs. Now that we hear the news that Tyreek Hill is going to be gone for probably about 4 to 6 weeks, he's going to be the new starter. When Tyreek went out last week, he played 56 out of 59 snaps. Quickly to the worst of tight ends, Vernon Davis. If you haven't heard the news, right before we went on air, Hunter Henry is going to be out for at least 6 weeks. Wow. That's a huge blow because a lot of people pick Hunter Henry. I had him as a top 10 tight end, and he's going to be out 6 weeks. So two of the guys to pick up in his place, Vernon Davis from the Redskins because Jordan Reed is always out, and Darren Waller from the Oakland Raiders because he had 7 catches, 80 yards. He had a great game. Just to finish it off, there's 3 defenses that you need to look at. I know a lot of you guys stream defenses. Top defense, obviously, to get this week, New England. They're actually open in a couple leagues. I got him in my league with him. I don't know how you let me get them, but I got the New England Patriots going against the Miami Dolphins. Then you got Houston Texans going against Jacksonville. Listen, even though I said pick up that quarterback, he's a rookie. He's going to need time to get established. So I say start Houston defense if you can pick him up. And the last defense to pick up this week, the Carolina Panthers going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's going to be the game tomorrow on Thursday. So you need to get somebody like that because, listen, Tampa Bay looks all fucked up right now. They can't run a good offense. So, with that said, any final comments, Ray?
Nah, guys, like I said, this is the last show on Periscope. Please subscribe to the channel, thumbs up, and
all our
share.
shows are going to be on YouTube.
This shit's for free, guys, and we're making you guys some money. All we ask in return is to subscribe and just spread the word.
Exactly. So, in about 5 minutes, you'll see 2 dudes and a Mexican. So, for Pete's Corner, we are out. Peace.